What does it mean to be biblically healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Welcome. I'm your host, Dalton, and this is the Iron Lion Podcast. Let's get started. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Iron Lion Podcast. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to start our podcast with a cardio workout. So, if you do not want to participate in the workout and you just started listening to this podcast, go ahead and look in the description for the start time for the actual speaking portion of the podcast. Alright, so here's a couple things you will need. Number one, you will need a bottle of water. Number two, you will need a towel. And then number three, a place where you can work out. Now, all of these workouts are going to be body weight squats, so you will not need any extra weight, anything like that. But if you wanted to take the intensity level up a notch, you can do that. Now, the way this workout is set up is you will do the exercise for 20 seconds and then you will rest for 20 seconds. After you get finished with all of the exercises, you will rest for 2 minutes between rounds for 3 rounds. The audio that you're about to hear will be the same audio you will hear if you are doing interactive workouts from my client app. So with all that said, let's get started. The timer will start now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. High knee run. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Three, 2, 1. Body weight squat. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Three, 2, 1. Body weight alternating forward lunge. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Three, 2, 1. Mountain climber. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Three, 2, 1. Push up. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Three, two, one. High knee run. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Body weight squat. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Body weight alternating forward lunge. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Mountain climber. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Push up. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Three, 2, 1. High knee run. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Body weight squat. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Body weight alternating forward lunge. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Mountain climber. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 3, 2, 1. Push up. 3, 2, 1. Rest. End of workout.
I'm hoping to be able to do more podcasts like this where there is a workout at the beginning and then there will be a lesson at the end. So it could be any type of cardio, it could be any type of weight training, it could be anything. It could be calisthenics, plyometrics, whatever it is. We can have some fun with it. I do want to say, though, let me know if this is something that can be beneficial to you. Where would you like it in the podcast? So, would you rather it be at the end of the podcast or at the beginning? Not at all. Maybe do a separate podcast for different workout types and things like that. Let us know. We want to hear some feedback about that. But what we're going to talk about today is the difference between anaerobic and aerobic cardio exercise. So for a quick definition of the difference between aerobic and anaerobic workouts is that aerobic exercise requires oxygen for your body to be able to create energy, or ATP. Whereas with anaerobic workouts, your body does not require oxygen to create energy. So you're probably more aware of aerobic exercise than you are of anaerobic exercise. As a matter of fact, there are millions of people going to the gym in the morning or this afternoon or whenever it is they're able to fit it into their schedule doing aerobic exercise because that's the only thing they know how to do. So they may run on the treadmill for a little while, or they may get on the elliptical, or they may walk around the track, or maybe even, go shoot some basketball, or whatever the case may be. It's something very low energy. But during aerobic exercise, the body primarily burns carbohydrates and fats, which can only be done in the presence of oxygen. Energy for aerobic activity is produced slowly, but in great supply. So you need a lot of supply of energy in these cases because your body has an understanding that you may be doing this for a longer period of time than you would anaerobic exercise. So keep that in mind. This type of energy primarily powers activities in which your muscles are used in continuous, rhythmic, or repetitive motions, moderately increased heart rate and respiration while building your physical endurance. So with aerobic exercise, you can assume that anything that requires you to be able to do something for a longer period of time, so endurance-based exercise, you're going to be doing aerobic exercises because your body has the ability to breathe in more oxygen. And while you're breathing in more oxygen and your body's in a state of stress, you're able to use that oxygen to create energy. Now, whenever you're doing sprints or you're doing high-intensity interval training, you don't have a whole lot of time to take good quality deep breaths, for example. So your body's not getting that amount of oxygen that it would if you had time to control your breathing. So your body sees a lack of oxygen and says, you know what? I need to find another way to make energy to be able to fuel this activity. So with aerobic exercise, you're actually able to burn fat for fuel and carbohydrates, but fat requires oxygen to break down to be used as energy. Now, in anaerobic exercise, you don't really have oxygen available, so you don't really burn fat in the moment. Your body needs energy fast. It needs to be able to keep up with the pace of your activity because you are getting your heart rate so high that you can almost barely talk. Now, that is a good indicator that you are doing anaerobic exercise, is that while you are working out, you can barely talk. So that's a good way to test the difference between anaerobic and aerobic in your exercises is, am I able to make a clear sentence, or do I have to take a huge deep breath before I begin my sentence? So with that being said, let me get back on topic. Okay, so with anaerobic exercise, you are burning mainly glucose or sugar, which comes from your muscles and your bloodstream. This type of energy generally lasts between about 30 seconds and 3 minutes, depending on your intensity in that activity. The more intense your activity is, the faster your body uses its quick anabolic energy supply. That means that you can sustain only very intense activities for a short period of time. So a couple examples of anaerobic exercise is weightlifting, running sprints, explosive jumping, like plyometrics, for example, and any type of high intensity interval training, which is one of my absolutely favorite things to do. Some of the benefits of anaerobic exercise is it strengthens your bones and muscles. It builds your muscle mass and power, so a lot of your explosive power. If you are somebody that likes to sprint, coming off the line really quick and fast, it'll really help you do that. It improves endurance and cardiorespiratory efficiency by increasing your VO2 max. Now, your VO2 max is a measurement of your body's ability to take up and use oxygen during exercise. And believe it or not, anaerobic exercise is still really good for burning fat. Maybe not in the moment of the actual activity, but intense anaerobic exercise increases your metabolic burn in the 24 hours following your workout. But it also builds muscle, which leads to improved metabolism all the time. So why is our metabolism higher after a short, high-intensity workout than it is after an aerobic workout? Some people may also know this as excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or in short, EPOC. Some people also call it afterburn. So the purpose in this heightened metabolism after this strenuous workout is to restore your body back to the resting state, but not only to restore it back to the resting state, but to help it adapt to the exercise. These include hormone balancing, replenishing of fuel stores, cellular repair, innervation and anabolism. All of these things are amazing benefits, amazing ways to burn fat and to put your body at a caloric deficit. Now, I'm not the biggest fan about calories in and calories out. That's another video, but I will say that if you have an intention of burning energy and burning your fuel sources, primarily fat as a source of fuel, then these are ways that you can do that. You can have a successful fat loss journey with both of these methods, if that is your intention. They both have qualities that the other one don't. They both have strengths that the other one doesn't. They both have weaknesses that the other one does not. So it really depends on your regimen and your nutritional guidelines as to how you can make these most effective in your life. I would not say that it is necessarily the aerobic versus anaerobic exercises. I would say use them both the way that they should be used in your life. For example, with me, I like to do fasted aerobic cardio first thing in the morning. Why do I do it fasted? Because I don't have any insulin levels that have been spiked over time. My insulin levels are all the way down. My glucose is very, very low. And my intention is to burn fat first thing in the morning. And so with aerobic exercise on an empty stomach, I will be burning fat. And I know for sure I will be burning fat. Now, with anaerobic exercise, when do I like to do that? I like to do that after I eat. Now, why do I do that after I eat? Because I don't want excess glucose from my meals to be stored as fat. Okay, so if I'm focusing on needing sugar as my primary source of energy for this type of workout, I'm going to attack that energy. I'm going to make my body need glucose as its primary source of energy before it can be stored. So I'm burning off anything excess, any overflowed glucose, if that makes any sense. So there are great ways that you can integrate these into your cardio regimen. So I really do intend to try and put more workouts together. I think what I may end up doing is doing separate videos, so that one's educational and one is just a spoken walkthrough exercise. I don't really want these podcasts to be past about 15 minutes. That's the goal. So that may be the best thing to do. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Also, if you need any more information about how you should be using aerobic versus anaerobic exercise, let me know. Send me a message. I would love to talk to you about it. So, with that being said, I'm going to finish up here. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks for listening again. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever you are, and that way you can get notified next time there's a podcast released. As always, we love you, and we will see you on the next podcast.